Welcome back. This week's episode, we have a very special guest. Lache is a very accomplished ninja. He was the 2021 World Ninja League champion, runner-up at Season 15 in American Ninja Warrior.
He also has cleared Stage 3 on American Ninja Warrior. He placed second at the WNL Finals in 2023. In Season 3 of NSC, he came third place. He represented Team USA in Ninja Warrior Germany and is currently coaching and training out of the Warrior Factory Syracuse. Please come back after we take the short break as usual. See you guys soon with Jay.
Jay Lewis, a.k.a. Jay Lache.
Jay Lache. Yes! Jay Lache Lewis. His name is Jay Lache.
Nice letters are cool. Jay Lewis.
Jay Lewis.
It's Jay Lache.
Let's go. Jay Lewis gets the full clear.
And Jay Lewis wins Premier Series at Fair Rock.
He's done the impossible.
It was an aerial assault by Jay Lache Lewis.
Please put your hands together for Jay Lache Lewis!
All right, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Fantastic.
Good.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah, I'm happy it worked out. I'm excited to talk to you guys.
Thank you. It's going to be great.
So when did you decide that ninja was something you wanted to do, like, competitively?
Yeah, so I think my intro to ninja is similar to a lot of people's. I saw the show when I was about 9 years old, so that was 2013. And I saw it and I really enjoyed watching it. Me and my family would watch it. It'd be, a really fun thing that we do. And then, at some point, like a couple years later, we started really getting into it and decided to see if there was a ninja gym nearby. And luckily there'd been one that had opened up about 20 minutes from our house, which was, about as lucky as you can get. Because back then there really weren't too many gyms for Ninja Warrior around, and there weren't any competitions for kids or anything. So I started when I was 11 in 2015. And that was about, I did ninja. I joined the competitive team at my gym shortly after starting. And then the WNL, which at the time was the National Ninja League, started up doing competitions for kids the following year in 2016. So that's kind of when I realized, this is, something I can compete in. Started doing that. Was training and everything. And then American Ninja Warrior Jr. rolled around in, I think, 2018. And I did pretty well on that, but I definitely could see that there was a pretty big gap between me and like the top guys there, like Vance and everyone. So I was like, that's when I think I really started to take it super seriously and train a lot harder, really try to put everything towards it, have it be like my number one focus. And so that's kind of what I've been doing for the past 6 years now. And it's been going really well.
That's awesome. What ninja gym did you start at?
I started at the Hamden Ninja Academy, which now they've got a bunch of locations all across Connecticut and New York. And I think there's one in, they're all over. So, but that's where I started.
That's cool. Good to know. Could you walk us through some of your training schedule now and what you train on?
Yeah. So, since I've gotten to, started college, I've needed to become a lot more structured with my training just because of the fact that there's a lot going on with I coach at the Warrior Factory Syracuse. I've got school, obviously, and I want to train as well. So typically I'll train 5 days a week. Some of that will be rock climbing, which is something that I've gotten into in the past couple of years and has been super fun. So I've really enjoyed that.
You posted a lot of cool climbing videos on your Instagram.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's super fun. So that's something that I actually got into because of Josh Levin, who's another competitor on the show.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, I met I think in Vegas for the national finals 2 years ago, so 2022. The first day I got there, Josh was like, "Hey, I'm heading to a climbing gym if you want to check it out." And I didn't do much climbing because I didn't want to tire out or anything for the competition, and neither did he. But just seeing what was possible and seeing what he could do, I was like, "This is something I really want to try." So I've been doing that.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, typically I'll do ninja about 4 times a week. A lot of my training, I'd say the vast majority of my training specifically during the season is courses. So typically during a week, I'll make sure I have a session where I do burnout, speed, and endurance. So split those up. Typically, when I run speed courses, I'll run a course, I'll set it up, and I'll run it like 10 times. So that'll kind of work my, my cardio as well as just, seeing my times get better. Typically, they'll get better till about my 5th run, and then I get tired. So then they'll like stagnate and then go down. And then, but yeah, so the main things are just, I do a lot of course training. I'll also do skill work. That's a little bit harder to do, because setting up, really hard obstacles, it's going to that's something that I'll need to set up myself and take down myself, or I'll have to set up. It's just a lot of setting up and stuff. So typically, kind of working the more simple stuff in a course format, or just making it longer, something like that's a bit easier. But I try to make sure a mixture of all of them.
Yeah, no, that's pretty similar to me. Whenever I go to the gym, I try to set up some courses, some speed. At the end, I try to get in a good burnout. So
yeah, no, 100%. I think courses, that's the main thing that I think has helped me progress in ninja in general. It's very important to get the basics down, and you don't need to do that in a course format. You can, do that just by doing the individual obstacles. But once you have kind of a good foundation of skills throughout everything, the courses are what you get tested on, right? Your tests are competitions. And so it just makes sense. The more comfortable you get doing obstacles in succession and working through them like that, the more comfortable we're going to feel when you're out, competing. At least that's been my experience.
That makes sense for sure.
And so how did you feel being able to compete and competing on American Ninja Warrior and American Ninja Warrior Jr.?
Yeah, no, competing on the show has been incredible. I mean, it's truly the obstacles that you get to do on the show are the best obstacles. But they're built by ATS, who does a fantastic job, right? There's new concepts. It's over water. They're huge, especially in Vegas. I mean, everything out there is twice or 3 times as big as what you're typically going to see in a ninja gym.
Yeah.
So it's just getting to have the chance to play on those obstacles and test it out is a dream come true. I got into Ninja Warrior by seeing the show, so being able to now have competed on it a bunch of times and gotten to try a lot of the obstacles that I've, seen since I was a little kid has been phenomenal. It's been really fun.
I can see how awesome that would be.
So
of course, as people begin to get older, they begin to get jobs or have busy school schedules. So it's hard to balance out all your commitments. But nonetheless, you've done a very good job at it. So do you have any advice for ninjas who are trying to balance out their training, school, work, and travel schedules?
Yeah, 100%. I think the main thing is just figuring out what you want to prioritize and prioritizing that. Obviously, it can be really hard when there's a lot of different things that you have with job, school, as you get older, if you have a family or anything like that, or other commitments, that's typically will take away from it. And that's completely fine, right? That's having other things than ninja is good. That's normal. That's, what you want to do. I know for me personally, ninja and climbing and training is something that is, aside from, family and school and work, is, the most important thing to me. So I make sure that when I'm planning out my schedule for the week, that I'm making sure I'm setting aside for this, for ninja, for training, for strength training, for doing all these other things, and setting aside that time. So I think the main thing is, one, being realistic with how much you can train, right? Looking at your schedule and being if you say you're going to train 6 days a week, but that's just not possible, then all you're going to do is, be mad at yourself because you didn't do what you said you were going to do, but that wasn't, realistic in the first place. So just kind of, be realistic, decide what you want to spend your time doing, and, just make sure you're setting aside that time and trying to keep consistent, as much as you can.
No, that's really helpful. Thank you.
Now you've been coaching at the Warrior Factory Syracuse, and how has that benefited, or how has that been?
Yeah, it's been incredible. I've worked at a ninja gym ever since I've been old enough to work. However, I've never gotten to be a coach for a competitive team, or kind of work with the team kids. Besides one-off things of subbing in and out at other gyms and stuff. But it's been great over this past season to be able to work with all the kids from the gym who are just they're so dedicated. They love ninja. They're awesome. Like it's truly been, it's helped kind of remind me why I started, and because a lot of them, I see the same passion that I had when I started ninja in them, and how they just, every day come into the gym wanting to do their best and be their best and just learn and have fun. So it's been really rewarding. It's something that I definitely want to, keep doing. And it's been really fun.
Yeah, no, both me and Owen have done coaching at our gym, and
That's awesome.
and it's really helpful.
yeah.
Like in terms of like it helps you begin to realize like what you've been doing wrong on obstacles when you fall, because you are telling other people what they did wrong. When you mess up and make a mistake, it's easier for you to figure out what you did wrong, and so then you can fix that.
Yeah. 100%. It's definitely, it's a good way to get a different perspective, because it can be hard to kind of see what, as you said exactly, perfectly, like what you're doing wrong. But when you see it in somebody else, you can recognize that and then realize, oh, like I can apply this to myself as well. And it's really helpful in that regard, and makes you kind of break down everything,
Yeah.
in a better way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we all have goals, whether you're an athlete or you're looking for other careers. So what are some of your goals that you have?
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I think, having goals, that's something everyone has. Mine have, shifted a little bit over the past, couple of years. One of the main ones that I think still there, depending on how everything plays out, would be, obviously winning American Ninja Warrior would be incredible.
Yeah.
It's definitely, that's the biggest stage. That's the mega goal for, I'd say, most ninjas, is that's one of the main things, right? I think also it'd be really cool, something that's come up in the past couple of years that has really gotten me psyched and got me excited is the Ninja Sport Championship. So being able to potentially win the championship for that would be incredible. That's something that is, I feel like it tests the biggest variety of skills, and you need to be at the absolute top of your game in order to win that, right? That is, you look at this year with Phil is just like, in terms of the sport of ninja and everything, like there's no one that's at Phil's level right now, at least in my opinion. Like that dude's a monster. It's crazy. So it's really cool to see.
So you came third this year, right? Season 3?
Yeah, I got third. So I was really happy with that.
That's great.
And I'll take third to Phil and Caden any day. I mean, like I was psyched with my performance on that. But
no, I saw your runs; they were all fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, and so those are kind of the two main ninja ones. I'd say, coaching wise, if I'm able to, continue to coach a team who, just has kids that are excited and enjoy ninja, that would, obviously be a blast. With rock climbing, that's something that I've taken up recently. I don't know, like since I'm quite new to it, the goals are a little bit different for that. Right now I'm just trying to get as much experience climbing on like actual rock as much as I can. I'd like to this year get my first double digit climb, so like a V10 or V11 for like grading system in climbing would be really cool.
That would be cool. Yeah.
But yeah, no, those are kind of the main ones right now. But kind of just seeing how everything goes, playing it by ear, and just trying to have a good time.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And climbing is also really good to build your grip strength and your upper body control, for sure.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it's really good as cross training for ninja, if that's something, and then also just as its own skill. It's really fun, at least in my eyes. So I've really enjoyed it. And some of the stuff I do for it's really helpful for ninja. Some of it I haven't noticed too much of an overlap, but that's all right, because right now I'm mainly climbing to get better at climbing, not climbing to get better at ninja, which is what I was doing before, but I've kind of like shifted that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And if you can go to any ninja gym that you haven't been to yet, which one would you go to?
That's a really good question. That's awesome. Let me think. One that I've been seeing for a while that I've never made it out to is Traverse Fitness. And then in that same kind of area out west, I believe Life Force is the name of the gym in Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that gym, like both of those gyms, like especially like Traverse is just huge, has like, the Mega 7 ladder, the huge warped wall.
I first saw that in like an NSC a while ago.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. That gym looks awesome. And then Life Force is one that just any time that I've seen them host like a competition or a course or seen any videos, like they do such a phenomenal job with their courses. Like it's really cool the obstacles that they put in. I can tell they put a lot of thought into it. So I think they're holding an NSC this year. So I might try to go out to that. It's just really far. So but how about you guys? Are there any ones that you guys are looking to get out to?
Definitely, I want to get out for sure to Life Force at some
Yeah.
point. 100%. I think they won course design of the year. I think in WNL last
That's
year,
awesome.
and I also want to get down more south to try to go to like all those Florida gyms.
Yeah, I would for sure want to go to Life Force and try out all those obstacles. And I wanted to go to like all the ones that have hosted NFC competitions. I think that all of those ones have really nice obstacles.
Yeah, no, those are some good choices. I mean, it's so cool now that there's so many awesome gyms like all around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see.
So you've cleared a lot of courses in your ninja career, but what has been your favorite buzzer that you have hit so far?
Yeah, I think it's definitely difficult. I think my favorite buzzer, there's probably three that I would say are like in contention that it's hard to choose between.
Yeah.
So the first one would just be my first buzzer on American Ninja Warrior, like the actual show. So qualifying in 2021.
Yeah.
Like at that time, looking back, you could kind of call that the teens and that everybody would probably do really well on the show and on the adult courses. But since it hadn't happened yet, I wasn't really sure. Like we'd never seen the younger generation try any of the courses, so I didn't know if they were a lot harder than I was expecting, if I wasn't ready for it, if all these other things. So to be able to go out there on my first run and hit a buzzer was fantastic. Just like the pure adrenaline of that one was something that, and like just happiness. I don't know if that one's even been topped, even though I've had ones that have probably been harder courses or things like that. Then I'd say the second one would probably be stage 3 in season 14. Obviously, like that is just something that I think every ninja dreams of, or at least I know I dreamed of for a really long time. But
100%.
it had only been done, I think at that time it was like 6 or 7 times in the actual show. So it was, a lofty goal. It was something that I thought I was capable of doing and knew I was capable of doing. But to actually, be able to hit the buzzer and make it all the way to stage 4 was, just it was awesome. And on that specific course run, I've never had another run where I've been like so like there's a thing called flow state where you're like, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but essentially like it's like completely like focused on the one thing and like nothing else is there. And I've maybe felt that a couple of times, but never to the extent of like that run where it was just like I mean, even when I watch it back, my facial expressions never changed. Like up until right when I cleared. So that was just something that was really, really cool.
Like you're just so locked in, you don't.
Yeah, exactly. And it's something that I know that there's like research on how to get into it and stuff. I've never tried to, so maybe that's something I should look into because it's pretty cool.
That's sick.
But I think the final one would be being able to clear stage 4 on the 4 Nation special out on Ninja Warrior Germany.
Yeah.
That was something that I was lucky enough to get invited to like a week beforehand as an alternate. It was like super hectic. It was my first time ever leaving the country. Like just, never had really even thought that I'd be able to represent USA on another show or Team USA or do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So to be able to do that and then also have the team select me to do stage 4 and to be able to pull through for them and get the win was just awesome. So I'd say those are probably my 3 favorite buzzers in no particular order. Just all of those ones would be in the tier 1 for me.
Yeah, that's so sick.
And I know you competed at World Ninja League Championships. So what's the difference between that and competing on the show?
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I'd say, over the years, it's gotten a lot closer due to how big the world championships for the WNL has gotten. There's just so many people there. The obstacles are getting higher, they're getting bigger. I do think that the show, the kind of structure of it with the lights, the cameras, the water, the just kind of huge obstacles, it does have a little bit of a different feel, which makes sense. That's impossible to replicate. But I'd say that in terms of difficulty, the obstacles at Worlds are probably just as hard as, if not harder than, a lot of the obstacles you'll see on the show. Maybe not when you get to the later stages, but I'd argue something like this year, the stage 2 for WNL is probably harder than 90% of the obstacles or courses on the show. A lot of the times it's just mainly the obstacles are difficult and the courses are hard, but it's just not messing up in that one moment is the difficult part. And the fact that you only have one chance at it. So I'd say in terms of difficulty, the WNL is very close, if not harder than the show, but everything else kind of, evens it out a little bit.
Yeah. Do you feel any extra pressure on either of them?
Yeah, I think that on the show, especially, since I've done well in the past, and I've got expectations for myself, and I try to just go out there and have fun, and that's the main thing I focus on. There will be times where I feel a lot of pressure coming from both myself and just the expectations I feel like other people have, but I found I perform best when I just focus on having fun and just enjoying the course and playing on the obstacles. So I've tried to kind of stay focused on that as much as I can, as hard as it might be. But there definitely is a lot more pressure I've found for me, on the show, than it would be at, WNL finals or kind of any other event like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. One final question. I was wondering, do you ever have an obstacle that, if you see it in a course, you're like, oh no, I have to do that?
I don't know about a particular obstacle, just because, a lot of times what will happen is if I've got an obstacle that'll, stump me in a competition, or I'll see and I'm like, I just can't do this. I'll train it a lot and I'll get to feeling pretty decent at it. But generally, no matter how much I train it, any super precise obstacles, less special deliveries, but more precise obstacles with an object in your hand. So for example, at Rock Solid, the circuit board where you jump up with one and put it in the circuit board slot and stuff like that. And kind of those ultra precision moves where just the margin for error is this big and you make one little mistake and you're off the obstacle. Those will always get me a little nervous. I don't particularly enjoy those as much as I think I probably should, since of how common they're getting. So I'm training them, I'm working on them, but those will always kind of get me nervous when I see them in a comp.
All right, well, thank you. So we do a thing called Joke of the Week. For each episode, Owen has a joke, and we're going to see if we can make you laugh.
All right, let's see it.
Someone at the bank asked me to check their balance the other day, so I pushed them over.
That was very bad, but I like
it. No, I think it was good. That's a good joke of the week. I think you succeeded.
You succeeded? That's good. Nice. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
Really
of course, thanks for having me.
Can't wait to see you at some other comps this season in WNL. So see you soon. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Catch you guys. Thank you again. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
See you later, guys.
Bye.